So all this Adidas switch got me to thinking. It was pouring rain last Saturday morning, couldn't really do anything. And I started thinking, like, what are the top, like, if I had to rank them, the top wins of the first Adidas era? 1997 was when we initially went to Adidas, all the way to 2014. Um, Obviously, number one would have to be the national title game, but I thought, what are the other 10 outside of the national title game? So we'll share those with you now. Harb is going to have a rebuttal and honorable mentions afterwards. This was a hard list. I initially had like probably 15 to 20 games on here. Um, a lot. Obviously, most of these are going to be late 90s to mid to late 2000s. There's none on here past 2007, I believe. But Pickens got slim after 2007. There was a couple I thought. '09 Georgia, we routed them at home. I thought about 2013 South Carolina, 2014 South Carolina, but I just couldn't pull the trigger over these. Um, so let me pull these up here on my end and we'll go through them real quick, Harb. How about it? Number 10, I put 2004 versus Florida. The Vols won 30 to 28. For those that don't remember that game, James Wilhoit, Tennessee ties it. Eric Ainge and Brent Schaefer, freshman quarterbacks, started the game, went back and forth. Both had pretty good games. Tennessee trailed 28-21, scored a touchdown to get it to 28-27. James Wilhoit missed the extra point. Vols got the ball back after a Dallas Baker personal foul, put him in good field position. James Wilhoit. Back then, this was a long field goal. He kicked a 50-yarder. That was a big deal in 2004. I was at that game. Uh, Terrific atmosphere that night. Vols win 30 to 28. Number 9, I had the 2004 Cotton Bowl versus Texas A&M. This was at the old Cotton Bowl, the original Cotton Bowl Stadium. For those that remember this game, if you watched it, the crowd was about 90% Texas A&M fans. It was a true road game for Tennessee, and Tennessee just absolutely routed Texas A&M in their pretty much home stadium that day. 38-7. Vols jumped out on them 21 to nothing. Just I think first three possessions they scored a touchdown. I remember watching that game that day. That was supposed to propel us into 2005 with everybody coming back, two quarterbacks coming back. That didn't work out so well. Number 8, 2007 at Kentucky, 52 to 50 and four overtimes. I was at this game as well. We should have lost this game about four different times. We let Kentucky right back into it. First play of the game, Eric Ainge throws a swing pass to Arian Foster. He takes it to the house. Vols jump out to a big lead in the first half, allow a really good Kentucky team to get back in it. We really should have lost this game two or three different times, late and in overtime, but kept finding a way to win. Won that game, got to go to Atlanta the next week and lose to LSU in the SEC title game. Number 7, 2003 at Miami in the old Orange Bowl Stadium. Vols win 10-6 in a rock fight. Um, it was Miami's first loss at home in like 40 or 50 something games. It was like some long, crazy streak. This was at the tail end of their little dynasty run there in Coral Gables. I think Brock Berlin was the quarterback for the Hurricanes.
Well,
Casey Clausen.
Kellen Winslow had an all-time uh,
Yes.
interview after the game.
That was when he was so pissed off after the game and said he was an effing soldier.
Yep.
Just look it up on the YouTube if you've never seen that before. The game's not much to watch, but the fun thing was that the what sealed the game was a Dustin Colquitt punt. I think it was Dustin. Yes, Dustin Colquitt punt, and he kicked it over toward the sidelines, and I'm pretty sure it was Sean Taylor who he muffed the kick, and Tennessee recovered it, ended the game, 10-6. Um, and Dustin Colquitt was hurt when he kicked it. He had gotten like a pretty severe cramp on the previous punt or something. I just remember him limping uh, throughout that game or throughout late in that game. But huge win for the Vols, kept them in the SEC title race that year. If they'd have lost that game, they ended up tying for the SEC East title, but they were behind in the BCS and didn't get to go to Atlanta. Staying in that same year at number six, 2003, at Alabama, a 51-43 win in five overtimes. This was the infamous 4th and 19 play in overtime. I believe it was the first overtime for Tennessee, or maybe the fourth quarter. I can't remember. No, it was overtime, maybe second overtime. Casey Clausen hit CJ Phaeton on 4th and 19 for like a 26-yard gain. Vols go on to win 51-43 in Bryant Denny Stadium. That would be our last win in that stadium since. Not one since, Harb.
Sad.
Sad. Sad and unfair. Maybe one day. Let's see. Number five, 1997 SEC title game versus Auburn. Tennessee wins 30-29. If I remember this correctly, Tennessee had like 4 or 5 just ungodly turnovers and kept Damian Craig and all them guys in it. But Peyton Manning hit Marcus Nash on a little out route in the fourth quarter to seal the win and bring home Tennessee's first SEC title since 1990. Their first SEC title game they played in. Next game, number four, Mississippi State in the 1998 SEC title game. Tennessee did not play well in this game. I think trailed 14-10 late in the fourth quarter. T. Martin hit Peerless Price for a touchdown to put them up 17-14. We got a turnover next possession, and then Martin hit Cedric Wilson for the dagger touchdown to end it. 24-14. Vols would go on to play in the Fiesta Bowl and win the national title. Harb caught me on this one because I'd had this on here and for some reason I deleted it, but he caught it and I made a correction. 1998 versus Arkansas. Vols win 28-24 in Neyland Stadium. That was the infamous Clint Sterner stumbles and fumbles game. Vols should have lost this game, but we didn't. Destiny had other plans. Billy Ratliff recovered, and we proceeded to run the football down the field with like 2 minutes left in the game. They just gave it to Travis Henry, and he would pick up huge gashes of yards every run. It was like our offensive line hadn't played all game, and they were totally fresh, and Arkansas was wore out. They were just pushing them all over the field. I was at this game. I'll never forget it. It was raining. It was dark that day, and I thought the game was over. I had my head down. I didn't see the fumble. I just heard people yell and looked up, and we're running off the sidelines. But that win kept us alive, number one in the BCS, and obviously we went on to win the national title. Number two, 2001 at Florida. Everybody should know this game. It was delayed because of September 11th. I think if we would have played this on when it was supposed to be played, we would not have had Dante Stallworth. We would not have had like 2 or 3 other key players. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise. Not that we wanted 9/11 to happen, but it ended up helping out the Vols. But they went down there, set the tone early. It was a back and forth game, but 34-32 win at the Swamp, and it propelled us to the SEC title game, which we then went and choked away to LSU the next week. We would have went on if we won the SEC title the next week and played Miami for the national title. What could have been. That was probably the day that set Tennessee football back from there on out. Who knows what would have happened if they had beat LSU in the SEC title game and went to play Miami for the national title. We'll never know, but not one of the best days in Tennessee football history. In number one, Harb, I've got 98 versus Florida, 20-17 win in overtime. Philip Fulmer got the monkey off his back. It was an ugly game. Florida had a lot of turnovers. Jesse Palmer and Doug Johnson switched back and forth at quarterback. Every play, they would rotate out. So every other play, Doug Johnson was in. Every other play, Jesse Palmer was in. It was one of the weirdest things Steve Spurrier did. But Deion Grant had a remarkable interception. Al Wilson forced like 2 fumbles that led to turnovers. T. Martin had a long pass to Peerless Price in the end zone for a touchdown. Sean Bryson broke a huge run on a fullback dive early in the game. But I just remember watching that game at my house that night, my parents' house, and when we kicked the field goal to go up, Florida got the ball, missed the field goal. I literally jumped and hit my knuckles on the ceiling in our basement that night. So That's my list, Harb. Again, I did not put the national championship game in there, obviously, because that would have been number one. This is games outside of that. So, did I miss any, Harb, or honorable mentions? What's your thoughts?
Honorable mentions. One that, in the grand scheme of things, wasn't really important, but in the moment, it was so fun. Was 2013 South Carolina. I believe we went. I think we went 5-7 that year. But South Carolina was number like 11 in the country, and they came in here, and that was the Marquez North one hang catch game.
Yes.
Marlon Walls had a huge game. I remember that vividly. Michael Plardy finished it off with a chip shot at the end. Beat them by 1 or 2 at the buzzer. It was a bright spot and a low point, and that's just a vivid game that I remember from the dark days post Fulmer. And we were wearing Adidas, so that game was a lot of fun. And another one that I do think you missed, which in my opinion is one of the most prolific nights of the Adidas era, was also against South Carolina, but in 2009 Halloween
That's
when we came out in
true.
the black. Uh, Looking back on it, they were so ugly. They were disgustingly ugly, and there were rumblings that we were going to come out in them. We came out in all orange for warm ups, didn't we?
All, orange pants, orange tops. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, we came out in all orange for warm ups, and then go in the locker room, team changes, they come in the tunnel, and they're wearing the black jersey for the first time ever. And that place was absolutely rocking. We go on to beat the tar out of South Carolina, which was pretty good that year, if I remember correctly.
Mhm.
Monterio Hardesty hit the B button,
Yeah.
one of the best spin moves of all time. Jumped on him early. I think we got up 21 nothing. Ended up winning like 31-10 or something like that. But in my opinion, that is one of the most iconic games of the Adidas era because it was a change that we'd never seen before. It was a promising future that obviously didn't happen, but in the moment, we were untouchable. And in my opinion, that's one of the most fun 7-5 teams of all time. Like that team was so fun.
That was crazy that year too. I remember I think it was the Ohio game. Jonathan Crompton had struggled off and on most of that year. In the Ohio game, he just caught fire. And from there on out, he was great the rest of the year. They ended up losing to Virginia Tech in the Peach Bowl that year, but Crompton came out. They beat South Carolina. They had pounded Georgia earlier that month. And Georgia was a good team, ranked. Just dog walked him, no pun intended, in Neyland Stadium. A couple that I had on my list that I just couldn't put them on there. One was the 2005 Cal game at Neyland Stadium. I remember that game. I think it was a 3:30 game, but it was so hot that day. It was first game of the year, coming off that '05 disappointing 5-6 season after being ranked third in the country, and they just pushed around California all day long that day. California came in highly rated. Never forget the opening kickoff. One of our players just cold cocked, not punched him, but hit one of their special teams players and pretty much knocked him out. He was
That,
wobbling off the field, and
that was Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Jackson, was it not?
I I don't think Aaron Rodgers was the quarterback of that team.
He almost had to have been. He got drafted in '07, I
I,
think.
so we played them in '06 and '07. I think he was in the '07 game, was he not? I know Marshawn
I don't
Lynch
know.
was.
I don't know how many years he's. Oh yeah, totally forgot about Marshawn Lynch. I know for a fact Deshaun Jackson played.
Let's
So
see. I'll look up the roster.
almost positive Aaron Rodgers.
Said running back. Oh, it was not. It was running back Marshawn Lynch, wide receiver Deshaun Jackson, Quarterback Nate Longshore.
Okay.
He was a sophomore, led the team with 3,021 passing yards. Backups included Joe Iob and Steve Levy.
Maybe he got drafted in '06.
He must have,
Anyway,
because,
anyway.
anyways, I don't remember who the quarterback was because we went out to Cal the next year and got beat up a little bit. And then the other one was the '06, same season, the '06 Georgia game. We fell behind that game, I think 24-7 in the first half, came out in the second half, scored a touchdown. Very next possession, got a pick deep in Georgia territory, scored again, just routed them 51-33. That was the game that was famous for Antonio Wardlow being on the cover of Sports Illustrated, recovering a block punt in the end zone. Um, a great night, and as a night game in Athens, those people were so fired up, jumping out 24-7 in the first half. They thought it was over. And the Vols, Eric Ainge, Brett Smith, Eric Ainge, Jason Swain, CJ Fate, and all those guys just had a night there in between the hedges. So that was one I really wanted to put on there. Another one more, was the '98 Georgia game. That was a big one. Quincy Carter was quarterback for Georgia. I can't remember who their running back was. They came into the game. We'd beat them like 7, 8 in a row. A lot of hype, highly rated teams on both sides. And Tennessee, final score was 22-3. It was never that close. If you go back and watch that game, Tennessee physically dominated Georgia on both sides in all three phases of that game. They were never in that game. So it was a typical Tennessee 1998 game. Low scoring, run the football well, and played elite defense. But I remember that game because Georgia fans were so hyped, thinking they had us. They finally got us. Didn't get us. They'd have to wait 2 more years.